Your pastor is too busy running his church to help his church be the church. Woo! That's crazy. Doesn't even make sense, does it? Let me prove it to you. Who is your pastor discipling? Who is discipling him? If the answer to both of those questions is nobody, then your pastor isn't helping his church be the church. He's running the church like it's a business, like it's an institution with programs and activities and services and stuff for people to do to keep busy. But he's not training the people under him in their gifts to stand up and serve as the church in the world. Guys, Jesus has called the church to be the church in the world, which means as Christians, we're to be discovering our gift, using our gift to serve people outside of our congregation. Like there's a time and place for the church to gather, for the saints to come together, to be equipped, to be encouraged, so they can go back out and be the church in the world, because the church is called to the world. The church is not called to get together with itself, to focus on itself. If your pastor is not discipling his congregants, if he's not being discipled in his own damn church, then he's not leading a church. He's leading an institution that he calls the church, but it's really a bunch of programs for people that pay him so he can run the programs. It's a business way, way more than a church. Guys, if your pastor is not discipling people in his church or being discipled by people in his church, he's not a member of a church and he's not running a church. He's running a business that has the name church on it. I got a friend, Mark Conrad, out in Fall River, Massachusetts. He goes to a church. He started his own ministry, serving the underprivileged in his community. He can only do it in the summer because he doesn't have a building. He approached his church for help so that he can continue to help serve his community when it's cold. His church said, no, we're too busy. We're too busy trying to run our church, and we actually are too busy trying to plant other churches. And he's like, what do you think I'm doing over here? I'm like, serving my community. This is the church. And they're like, no, we're too busy with church to help you be the church. Yes, that's exactly right. His church was too busy with church to help him be the church. That is the state of the church today, guys, because your pastor is running a business called church. He's not in the business of being the church or raising up the church. Your pastor actually is not being the church either. That's why he can't teach his church how to be the church, because he's also not being the church, because he's not even a part of his own damn church. Woo! I'm telling you, man, church is so messed up, we don't even know it, because we don't know what it's supposed to look like, because we're so used to the bullshit that it does look like, which ain't it. It's crazy. That's why your pastor is so busy running the church that he can't help his church be the church. And that's where we are. And we got to wake up from this crazy delusion we call church, which isn't the church. Pastors, it's got to start with the pastors. They've got to start standing up and saying, look, I was wrong. I've been running a business, calling it church, instead of raising up people to be the church. I was wrong. I'm not discipling a single damn person in my own church. Look, if you're a pastor running a staff, having staff meetings, that's not discipling. Discipling is one-on-one, an elder with a younger, mentoring them into a relationship with Jesus. Guys, I see pastors today, really, I get it. They're struggling. They're like, we need to disciple. Pastors trying to start programs and sermon series about discipleship and read books about discipleship and start small groups about discipleship. Don't know discipleship because they're not discipling. If you're a pastor and you want to take discipleship seriously, find a handful of guys or gals in your church, start spending time with them one-on-one, discipling them. Then they will learn what discipleship is from you. Then they will be able to disciple others as you disciple them. And the others they're discipling will disciple others that are being discipled by them, but that are being discipled by you. And so discipleship will start to happen. And that is the church being the church, and that is the call of the church. The reason why Christians can't talk to people outside of church about Jesus is because nobody is teaching them about Jesus in their own damn church. The church ain't being the church. Pastors ain't pastoring a church. They're running a business called church. Nobody's teaching anybody how to know Jesus, follow Jesus, and be like Jesus. And so the church can't be the church in the world because the church isn't even being the church at church. Woo! Ha! You! Damn! Ain't that a mouthful? Ain't that a conundrum? No wonder the church is in the state that it's in. No wonder the church is falling apart, failing, shrinking. So, it's back to the fundamentals, guys. It's back to the fact that your pastor doesn't even know how to be the church, and so he can't teach you. And so pastors need to start from scratch, learning how to know Jesus and disciple others into Jesus. We got to go back to square one, back to the foundation. Until we do that, we'll get nowhere. All right, see you.